Hello everyone, my name's Nolan. I'm here at Calvary, and thank you so much for joining us for the Daily Dose. Sometimes it's fun to do something out of our comfort zone, taking a trip, trying new food, or getting our hair cut a little differently. But when it comes to the people around us, that can be really hard. It feels really risky to invite someone new over or to get to know someone's story, especially if that person thinks, looks, or votes differently than we do. This week on the Daily Dose, we're exploring what it means to be for taking risks through different stories in the Bible. One of the hardest things in life is waiting. Waiting to find a job, waiting to find that special someone in your life, waiting to hear a diagnosis, waiting to see where God is leading you. Serving God in our lives is all about waiting. With the development of all these crazy technologies over the last century and even the last decade, we can get information like this at a press of a button. If we want to be on the other side of the world, we can book a trip and hop on a flight and be anywhere in the blink of an eye. If we want access to almost anyone in the world, we just have to Google them or friend them on Facebook. There are so many things that we can get in an instant that even just a decade ago seemed impossible. But here's the deal. Serving God can take a lifetime or even generations to see results. One of my favorite stories about waiting only took 3 days. But I can only imagine that it felt like a lifetime to those who lived it. Most of us know the story of Easter. We start decorating and ordering food for the Easter meal. We plan our Easter egg hunts, what church service we'll go to. And all of this happens days, if not weeks, before Resurrection Sunday. We know even before Jesus dies that he lives again. But to those close friends of Jesus, this was a failed mission. To marry one of Jesus' closest friends, to marry his mother, to John the Beloved, to all of his friends and followers, they had all given everything to follow the Messiah. They not only loved him as family and as friends, but they had sacrificed everything to believe him. Their jobs, their families, their reputations, and it was all building this momentum. They were excited, they were hopeful, they were ready for something big. And that happened even when they could not see it. Jesus was beaten and murdered in front of the whole world. They thought they had lost. They thought that the mission was over. They maybe even started to doubt that Jesus was who they thought he was. And that's where we start on waiting. Many of us know that Jesus died on Friday, what we call Good Friday, and then he appears again on Resurrection Sunday, starting with an empty tomb. But we often skip right over Saturday. The Saturday between Good Friday and Resurrection Sunday to me looks like hopelessness. Like when you find out that your beloved one has cancer. It looks like despair, like when a spouse walks out on his wife and his kids, or someone is losing to a long bout of alcoholism. And it certainly looks messy, like how we don't always know how to best serve God. What is the next step? Am I really making a difference? See, the benefit of celebrating this resurrection 2,000 some years later is that we know that Jesus stands alive and in glory on the other side of his death, but we don't always attach that to the hopelessness, despair, confusion, and mess of our lives right now. Today. Following and serving God is part of the long game. It's not what we can see right now. It might not even come to fruition until after we are long gone. It's eternal. When my family moved to Alexandria just 8 months ago, one of our dreams was to plant a garden. It might not seem like a huge dream to you, but for us it was. But to be honest, it didn't happen. We didn't make it happen. Between the hill that we live on, where we get sunshine, how to dig without breaking a water line, and the cost of lumber in this pandemic season, and just the time that it takes, we didn't do it. But we did buy a few planters and some seeds. And what I love about seeds and planters is that when I plant a seed, I kind of forget about the excitement, the beauty, the mess, and just the time it takes to grow this tiny little seed. We have some bean plants that just a week ago were unseen, and now this week are a few inches up and creating leaves and soon fruit. I think about this as we talk about serving God and how we don't always know how it'll come to fruition. How it takes patience, it takes water, it takes sunshine, and over time, given the right amount of nutrients and weeding and love, it breaks through the ground and produces fruit. Sometimes it feels so unknown. Could Jesus really be on the other side of what's going on? But just like my tiny bean plants, and just like the story of the resurrection, your story and my story of unknown and waiting, painful waiting, ends with the risen Jesus on the other side. It ends with God already being there. So as I close today, I want to end with the lyrics to one of my favorite songs we sing here at Calvary. On the other side of everything I'm afraid of, you are standing with your arms wide open. Even in my deepest fears and wonders, you are standing with your arms wide open, wide open. Friends, we have a God who is at the center of all your waiting and already at the end of it, waiting, risen with arms wide open. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you watched us on Facebook, hit the like button, the share button to spread around to all your friends and family. If you watched on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and on television, invite your friends and family to join along with you. Thanks for joining us. God bless.